Are there statistics out there, Greg, about where like the source of the suicide, the motive, you know, I know there's statistics about like, was there a weapon involved or was it drug use? But is there a source of what the motive is? Are there statistics around that?
Yeah, I mean, there are some governmental agencies like NIOSH, uh, uh, National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. They've got
Mhm.
some data. You can look at CDC. The
Okay.
challenge, Clay, comes this way: is just because somebody dies by suicide or left a note doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily mean it's a death by suicide. It's a very long process
Yeah.
for that to be deemed. And that's when you read the headlines, source of death undisclosed, because it typically means it was either an overdose, whether it be intentional or intentional. And so there's this thing that happens. The obvious ones are when they hit a job site, or when you hear the rifle shot, or you do X, Y, or Z. That there are data, but I would go to institutions like the Center for Disease Control,
Yeah.
and look at their data stats and see what they've got.
Because I think about some of the biggest stresses in life. You mentioned divorce, relational issues. But even I think a lot of times in the construction industry, you deal with people that aren't as educated on how to manage finances, for example, or you mentioned like caffeine and substances. But I mean, what are the things that we can be doing? I mean, obviously asking how they're doing is a crucial part to that. But even giving them certain life skills and talking about things that truly matter. Lunch and learns come to mind. Obviously, that's not necessarily enough always, but setting them up with a financial planner. There's so many things that like that can make a difference, right?
It does. And I'm proud to say again that I work for Associated Builders and Contractors. And one of the things that we've made a transition as an organization, making available to our 22 plus thousand members that are out there, is an approach called total human health. Okay. And this is where you really are getting to know people. And the essence of total human health is focusing on a lot of different things: body being physically right. Do they have the PPE? Are they safety equipped, etc.? But where's their mind at? Where's their head at? Okay. Because you say the person that has a divorce, their son could be in a hospital, their kid could be in rehab, their daughter could have run away. There could have been 1,000 things that when that individual puts on that hard hat, laces up those steel toes boots, it's still there. And so we've got to make sure that we promote these mindfulness moments to say, listen, I know you don't have your life completely together just because you got a hard hat on. And we got to promote those opportunities for people to go in that direction or ask for that assistance without shame or embarrassment. We've got to be very vocal about that. Okay. We've also got to talk about soul, because the soul wants to connect. A person's soul wants to connect to what they're doing. You said a moment ago, Martin, when we started this journey early on, that I was able to make a connection to it. The vast majority of people today want to make a connection to what they do. And it's not necessarily the work. It could be the community good that comes out of that. It could be those extracurricular projects or opportunities to get engaged. And then also you begin to think about that heart. What is their passion? Are they just doing it because it's a job or it's a career? Now, blended in all of that body, mind, soul, and heart, you got a young person who was, no, I'm not trying to disparage, people that work in fast food industries, but they go from flipping burgers to making 12, 14, 15 bucks an hour versus $7 or 8, whatever it may be in their geographic location, or even 25 bucks an hour. They don't know what to do with this kind of income. And so, as you said, teaching them financial responsibility, teaching them, hey, you got obligations here like child support that you need to pay. You've got a mortgage or rent you've got to pay. Let's be smart about this, and let's just not assume that they cash the paycheck or you make a direct deposit and they know what to do with it. So it really is courageously getting out in front of people and saying that when I don't have a false expectation that because you worked on that turnstile or you came in the front door, that everything about you is as good as it looks, because you know what? That's a cover story. And everybody's got a cover story. We've got to get beyond the cover story and find out what's moving them.